Lives podcast. I'm your host, Crazy Avey, aka Anne Marie Avey. And we are here to talk for an hour about cat shit. Just kidding. And other things, obviously. First of all, I just got to make this announcement real fast. Cat Cult shirts are back in stock for you to buy. Just go to crazyavey.com and you can get yourself a Cat Cult shirt. One for yourself, one for your family, one for your friend, one for the homeless guy on the street. Why not donate a Cat Cult shirt to him? All we got to do is spread the love, spread the knowledge, and we rising. Cat Cult fam, we rising. We're running a little bit low, so I would hurry up and get that. Also, make sure you like, subscribe to the 9 Lives podcast. We're just a little 9 Lives podcast that just keeps growing every week. And man, do I love that you seem to love me talking for an hour to myself, which is nothing new to me since I've been doing it my whole life. But I'm thrilled to be here as always. But yeah, those Cat Cult shirts are back in stock. I will be making a Colonel Meow shirt. How I'm going about that, I'm not sure yet. There's a few things that I have ideas for and then how I want to do it. So there's a couple options, but keep on the lookout out for that as well. What happened this week? A lot of stuff happened this week. First of all, I just did an interview with The Guardian today. It's actually really interesting. I did this interview like in January or something, like a long time ago. And then they called me back and said that the reason why the story didn't come out, which I totally forgot about. Like I totally forgot about that I did an interview. Like I don't even know what I said in the interview. But she was like, I was following your account and we just wanted to do an update. There was like a delay on the thing. So now we're updating and we see that you did a lot of things that you said you were going to do in January. And I was like, I did? She's like, yeah, you started the YouTube channel that you wanted to start and you made it more about you, which is the direction that you wanted to go in. And I was like, oh, right. Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I set out to do. So it's just actually just really fascinating to see something called almost full circle. Not even a year has gone by and to see how far you've grown, even though we have to remind ourselves how much you've done in a year. Cause sometimes it feels like nothing when you can't like physically attain something. Like I'm not like millionaire and I don't have, whatever, but you have to like give yourself the understanding and accomplishment of what you have done. Cause a lot of people don't do what they're saying you're going to do. So every little victory is a win and you got to celebrate it. So one of those things is this podcast. Started this podcast this year. 2018, the year of the 9 Lives podcast. We started Crazy Avey Land this year. Those are two big things that I've done. And I'm so thankful. And I feel so thankful that people just tune in and listen and follow me along on this little cat cult journey of mine. So thank you to everyone for that. Because it's interesting how I was doing this interview and this came about. Also, I was doing this interview and they were like, so how would you describe Papa Puff Pants? And I was like, oh God, I don't even. And I was actually kind of challenging. I was like, I don't know. He's like furry and sometimes grumpy and sometimes playful and run around and he plays catch sometimes and he meows a lot and he loves to play and be active and he walks on a leash with me kind of. Like I was like, I don't know how to describe him. Like Colonel was so specific, right? Like I created this personality for him. Like I was like, oh, he's drinks scotch and angry at the world, blah, blah, blah. But Papa Puff, like I haven't really created a character for him. That's just who he is. Like how you see Papa Puff Pants is like how he is. I've not like created a character for him. And I think that's like one thing that's different is he's no longer like the main character in my life. He's more of the supporting character. And I think like that kind of goes into like a lot of women out there where maybe we put relationships first or your job first or, your kids first, which makes sense. We have to remind ourselves that we are the main character in our stories. And like all these other things that are here to help us and guide us are the supporting character in our stories. And it's interesting because like I look at Papa Puff Pants now as like the secondary character, not the main character in my life. Whereas like Colonel was like the main one and I stood behind him and I actually pushed him forward there. Like I didn't want to be in front. You know what I mean? I felt very comfortable being second. But I think like sometimes we have to remind ourselves that we are the main character of our stories. And that we got to remind ourselves to put our needs first sometimes. What do we need to get done? What do you need to make money? Do you need like alone time? Do you need to play more with someone else other than like your immediate family or whatever and just like go to coffee with somebody and like schedule time for that? Do you need to like, I don't know what you need, but you got to put yourself first. Cats do. Cats put themselves first. When have cats ever not put themselves first? That'd be a podcast I want to listen to, right? They always put themselves first. I know I've said that before, but it's important to remember. I just found that very interesting. And it's one of those things that like you are in charge. We forget like sometimes that you're in charge of your life, that you are in charge of choosing paths that you can take. You are in charge of that no matter what happens. Like, let's say someone takes you to court. Let's say someone, I don't know, whatever. But you are in charge of like, deciding how you want to handle that court case. You are in charge of what you need to do for your mental health in order to go forward with that court case. You are in charge of, you don't have to just be a victim, And things happen that we don't plan for or understand. And you are completely in charge of how you handle it. And it's really tough. Sometimes it's tough to like understand that. Sometimes it's tough to like not be in chaos and think that you have no choice but to be in chaos. But like you can do whatever you can to manage that chaos as best as possible. So that's, doing yoga or meditating or whatever. Maybe it's just screaming in your car. Like I've done that. Literally just screamed in my car for like 30 minutes in a fucking DSW parking lot because I was just stressed. And I felt really good afterwards, actually. Felt odd because some people were walking by, but I just didn't give a fuck. In LA, no one knows who you are. If you're in a small town and you're screaming in a parking lot, maybe everyone would recognize you and understand like, hey, what's up with Mrs. Maple? She's screaming in a car. What happened? But I just recommend doing whatever you need to do in order to remind yourself that you're in charge of you're the main character in your life and you can do whatever the hell you want. I think sometimes we forget that. Like we got to go to our job. We got to like blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yes, need to make money, but you get to choose how you want to make money on some level. You get to choose. Like, it's okay. Like, no one's tied down to anything. Don't ever feel trapped in your life because you get to choose. You can walk away from a relationship if you need to. You can walk away from a job if you need to. Choose your health first. Both of those things can be unhealthy. You know what I mean? God, I remember being in this. I had this cafe job that I had. And I was there for like 2 years. And I finally quit because I actually eventually moved. Like I was moving to New York or something. And I eventually quit. And when I quit, I didn't realize how much like emotional and mental abuse and like stress I was in until I left the job. And then I realized how relaxed I was. And it wasn't like not working. It was like, because I still was like working and doing other things. But I like remember like when I stopped working, just like after a week, like how much more energy I had and like how much it was taking a toll on me just every day coming in and just getting hounded and like talked down to all the time. Like I'm an idiot by like several different people that I worked with. Putting me down, just saying those, you know, people with their snide comments, you know, like it's like incredible. And so when you're out of that, you forget like, wow, I'll never go back to that fucking job. Because you realize the importance of how much it is to take care of yourself. It's really important. And why is it important? Say it with me now. So we can stay alive. No, I'm just kidding. We don't want you dying on us. You really got to take this shit seriously. Like, God, I like say it as I'm laughing. But we do. We got to be like, whoo, every day of putting yourself first on some level keeps the doctor away is my motto. Fuck your apple. Like, I don't know. By the way, I was like working this week and I like work at this bar on the weekends now. And this guy came in and he's like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, good. He's like, you don't remember me, do you? And I was like, no. He's like, oh, you served me the other day. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't remember who you are. And he's like, I remember you because of your mole. And I was like, my mole? He's like, yeah, I remember that mole. And he was like trying to hit on me. Like he was like, yeah, I remember your mole. And he's like nodding his head and like kind of looking at me like with like these weird eyes. And I was like, I know you're like trying to hit on me kind of with this mole thing, but it makes me just realize that like I need to get my mole removed. Like if you're recognizing me by my mole, it's time for me to get my mole removed. Like I can't like, it's not my eyes or my smile. It's my mole that you're like, whoa, I recognize that mole from anywhere. Super, you know, rememberable. Like, fuck my life. Like, shit. So disgusting. And then I was like, when did I serve you? He was like, yesterday. And I'm like, I didn't work yesterday. So he didn't even recognize my mole, which made me even, now I feel like I have a mole twin. I'm like, I got a mole twin out there. Someone is getting us confused because we have the same fucking mole. That's weird. And who are you? I'd like to meet you. Watch, she's like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed person. Like, looks nothing like me, but we have the same mole in the same spot. Super easy to get us confused. We have the same mole. I understand. But, like, isn't that a weird thing? Like, God, like, what if I were, like, if I were to recognize you? I mean, that reminds, like, what if I were to be like, wait a minute. I remember this penis. Have we had sex before? What? I don't remember. No, I remember this specific penis. I recognize this penis from anywhere. We've fucked before, sir. Wow. Like, it's so awkward. Why is it so weird? Like, why is it so recognizable? Ew. I remember just like working back in this bar again is very like kind of fun, very stressful at times. And also like, I forget how needy some people are. I worked at this place and super slammed. It was like only me on the upstairs floor. It got They were understaffed, and I had to do everything myself while learning this new computer. Like, it was just a night shit show. It was a shit show. It was like my first football shift. They scheduled me by myself with all this stuff. And everyone was like super impressed. Like, wow, you rang in this much. No one rings in that much. And you're a rock star. And I was like, well, I didn't feel like one because fucking felt crazy with anxiety the whole time, and everyone needed something all the time, and I couldn't give people the good service. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in the service industry, you understand this. I hate not being able to give people good service. Like, if you're getting bad service, it's because I'm literally serving everyone else. It's not because, like, I'm off on my phone in the corner ignoring you. You know what I mean? It's like I'm understaffed and here alone, and that pisses me off because now I can't even take care of you the way I want to take care of you. But in this like chaos, this woman starts asking me like, what's gluten free here? And I'm like, salads. Like, I'm just like, take a salad. She's like, yeah, but can you make the nachos gluten free? And she's like, I'm really sensitive to gluten, so I can't have like anything dipped or fried in anything. Like, it has to be made with a separate knife and blah, blah. And I'm like looking at her super like up to my eyes in orders and people, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, lady, in my mind, I'm like, if you come to a sports bar and you're wondering if they can make stuff with clean utensils so that we can accommodate to your gluten weirdness, like, you're in the wrong place. You know what I mean? Like, it reminds me of, like, if I were to have a kid with, like, some kind of peanut allergy or some shit, I would not expect every restaurant go back there and prepare shit for my kid in a certain way. I would come prepared. I would probably have snacks available. I'd probably like whatever, because it's not my fucking responsibility. Like, you're putting that on them to make sure that your kid doesn't die. So like, and that's just as too much. This woman was like, I'm really sensitive. Like, I will flare up. And I'm like, then why the fuck are you eating at a goddamn sports bar? Why are you eating at a sports bar that's like slinging drinks and has burgers on it? Like, this is not, like, I don't understand that. Like, why don't you bring yourself a little snack pack and eat something? So she's like, yeah, I'd like a full avocado. I'd like my own knife to cut it myself. I'd like a lemon wedge and one hard-boiled egg. And I'm like, okay. So that, you know what that means? She's like, I really need the knife, though, to not have touched anything. Can you tell the kitchen this and this? And I'm like, fuck. I had to go downstairs. I'm already, like, I can't even leave. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people are just not yelling at me, but they're like, I want this. I want this. I want this. Hey, can I get this? 4 shots of this. Can we get around? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm like, fuck. And now I got to stop, go downstairs, talk to a kitchen that speaks Spanish, and explain to them about your gluten-free allergy bullshit that they need to understand, and they need to, like, wipe down things with soap in order for you to feel comfortable eating an avocado at a fucking, like, do you understand the high maintenance of this shit? So I go downstairs in the midst of this chaos. I'm like, hey, this woman wants this, like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like trying to explain to them, and they're staring at me like, we don't do that. I'm like, oh my God. So then I tried to ring it in, and when you ring it in, you have to like communicate on these special instructions. I'm like trying to do that. Then I go down and they're like, actually, it's not just one avocado. You have to charge for 4 sides of our avocado in order to get that one avocado, whatever. I'm like, fuck. So that's going to be like $7. Does she want to do that? So I have to go upstairs. Do you want to pay for this? She's like, well, I guess I have to. I'm like, and you know what I said to her? I was like, well, honestly, you don't have to. Because I was like, no, you don't have to do anything. If you're starving and hungry, you can leave and go somewhere else that you know will have like gluten-free options and like a custom, whatever. You can go to a goddamn Safeway down the goddamn street and pick out a fucking avocado and come back. You're not even into this football game. You're here with your boyfriend as like a side chick just kind of hanging out. Go to the grocery store, get yourself $1 avocado, and then you can cut it yourself. Like and so I told her, I was like, you really don't have to. And honestly, and I was really nice about it. I didn't say it like rudely, but I was like, honestly, you really don't have to do this. Like, I don't want you to have allergic reaction. So don't order it if you're worried about it. But this is all I can offer. I was like, this is the best I can do. So if you want to take that risk, that's up to you. Like, I said that to her because you're not going to fucking put it on me. Like, you're just a victim of your gluten shit. No, you're not. Like, there's so many options. We're in LA, man. We live in LA. There's so many things available to you to make this not happen. And you just come here with like this weird attitude, like you're a victim of like, God, we can't do it. Oh my God. It's my life so hard because I have this gluten allergy. There's so many things that you can do. Take responsibility. You're at a sports bar. You're at a sports bar. People are doing shots of Nikolai vodka. Nikolai vodka. No one gives a fuck about your gluten allergy. Sorry. Like, what do you... Ugh. I was so irritated, but I was really nice. Like, in the moment, like, I was not acting like this. I can just be, like, super sweet, understandable, but really direct. Like, you need to take responsibility. But I think about that. I'm like, if my kid had a peanut allergy or something, I would not put it on the restaurant to make sure she doesn't die of whatever. I'd pack something in my purse so that she has it. If my kid has something to eat, if it's necessary, especially if we're just hanging out and watching football. Like, it's not like you're, we're working all day and you had to stop in and we have to like go soon. And it's just your life's so hectic. Like, you came in to relax and watch football and do nothing. Like, give me a fucking break. And I don't believe that like gluten allergies aren't real. Like, I don't believe that. I believe that people do have gluten allergies. I believe, whatever. What's that word? It's like celiac. Yeah. I was like, sickle cell. Like, I was like, the gist. I'm close, but a little off is how I handle that. But yeah, celiac disease, I know that exists. My cousin hasn't. She was like tested for all this other stuff. Finally, like figured out, like diagnosed with it. So I know it exists. But I also know that it's like up to you to like handle it and make sure you don't get an allergic reaction. Like, it's up to you. So annoying. You know what else was annoying this week? Let's just talk about it. So many things. One of them was this morning, I found a spider in my cotton pads container. So like, I opened up the jar and there on top of the jar, like on top of the actual cotton pad, was a fucking spider. And I immediately screamed and made Austin go deal with it. I was like, oh my God. Kill it. Get rid of it. Was it alive? Like, I don't understand. I don't even know how it got in there. Huh? And then Austin said it was alive, but then he killed it. And I don't understand how it got in there or what happened, but I basically threw out a bunch of cotton balls that I never used because I was like, is he laying eggs? Like, I don't know what's going on in there. You know what I mean? But like, it reminds me of like okay, so that like myth that they say like you'll eat 7 or 8 spiders a year. Like, there's a myth out there. And for a long time, I believed it. And people were like, no, it's fake. It's not a real thing. That's a wives' tale, blah, blah, blah. And let me tell you why I actually believed this myth for so long. When I was 7 years old, I'm lying in my bed. I'm going to sleep. And you know how every once in a while you have like a tickle on your face? And you're like, oh, like you kind of like brush it and you're like itch, like you have something that itches, or like something comes up and you're like, what? So I'm like falling asleep and I like get this tickle on my face and I kind of like hit it like a little bit and I just like, oh. And then I did it again and I was like, what the hell? And then I touched my face and a daddy long leg was on my face, like half my face, and I screamed and I threw it off me and I like ran out and I was like, oh, Mom! Like it was like about to be on my mouth. Like it was like right there. You know what I mean? And it was a daddy long leg, this huge ass motherfucker. And I screamed and I like yelled at my mom and my mom was like, oh, Anne-Marie, daddy long legs are nice. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if the spider is nice. It's on my face, like crawling on me. Like, do you know how gross that is? So for so long, like I remember the feel of like this really light feeling like on my face, just like kind of grazing it and like, ugh, like, but it's like this huge animal, but it like is so light. And ever since then, when I see a spider or like see one, like it just scares me a little bit. You know what I mean? Sometimes I like leave spiders alone if they leave me alone. But if they're above my bed or something, like I'm like, I know you want to get down here and get on my face and hang out. And I'm just not about it. There was one time, I think I did the Snapchat story where there was like this huge spider above my bed and it was like going back and forth and like down my wall and like kind of up. And I was doing this thing about it. And I was like, I have to kill this thing because it's going to come in my bed or like on my face because it's happened to me before. So I like got a shoe, right? And I got on my bed and I jumped up on the ceiling and I smashed it. And then it left this footprint on the ceiling. And it's still there today. And I'm like, you know what, though? I don't care. Like, there's a spider that could have crawled in my face and laid eggs in my ear, and I would have died. So now there's a footprint on my ceiling. I'm walking on ceilings. Woo! And don't it feel good? And it felt like I was kind of pissed that there was like a footprint on my ceiling. But at the same time, I'm like, whatever you got to do to survive. Whatever you have to do to fucking survive. God. So uncomfortable and awkward. You know, you know what else is uncomfortable and awkward? Is yesterday I went out and I met my friend. I met up with my friend at this place called Hanano, and it's in Venice. And I was just meeting up with her to like chat with her for a little bit and catch up. And there is this band playing, and it's like these older white guys. Like the lead singer had just like a beard that had two braids and then like two white beads. He like split it in two braids and like, you know, put like white beads on it to like close it off. And then like was like very surfer looking, but he was like older. He looked like he was in his 50s. And then like they all were like older, grungy, like kind of weathered looking white guys that were playing this band, and they're like playing hard rock and all this kind of stuff. And then they started playing Snoop Dogg, and they were like 1, 2, 3 into the foe. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre's at the dope. So they're playing the song, and like all these white people got like really into it. And they're like dancing in front of them, and they're all old. They're like all in their 50s. And this guy like knows the whole song. And it wasn't, they're like, people are like, they're good. And I'm like, someone was like, aren't they good? They're really good. And I was thinking like, no, this song is good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're playing a cover of a really good song. So like, yeah, like, I mean, like, I'm not saying no cover bands are good or I'm not saying all of them are bad, but it's hard for me to decipher if a cover band is good because they were playing it exactly like the song. Like sometimes I listen to cover bands and they like have their own cover and like their own version of it. For example, there was this one song I'll never forget. I was like 18 and I went to like this 8 and plus over club and this like ska band. Yes, ska. I wasn't into ska, but like I was with a friend who was, and he like played before this band, so I like went to support him, and then like the quote unquote good band that people know were about to play, the quote unquote good ska band was after them. So however you want to do that. But they played a cover of, oh God, what's his name? No, oh my God. A country singer, what's his name? Like really famous. And he played the Thunder Rolls song. The Thunder Rolls. God, Austin, can you look it up for me? Like Thunder Rolls. What is his fucking name? Huge in the 90s. Like huge country singer in the 90s. And Garth Brooks. Thank you. I was like, Garrett? Yes, Garth Brooks. Thunder Rolls. And they played like a ska version of Thunder Rolls. They didn't just like play the song. You know what I mean? They like turned it into like this like ska version, and it was that song, but it sounded totally different because they like made it like interesting. And then they switched it up too. I think it was like a little bit slower or something like that, and then it went faster. So they changed the beat and stuff. Where like this rock band, I mean, they were using the like, they didn't turn it into a rock song. They just like played it live with their rock music. Like they were like playing like the do. They were using that with, I don't know, I forget what they did with their guitar. You know what I'm saying? But it was the same exact song. Whereas the structure of the Thunder Rolls song was totally different, but it was their own cover and version of it. So it's hard for me to like look at a cover band and I'm like, are you good or did you just memorize a really good song? And so like it's a no fail. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, how do you judge a good cover band? What makes them a bad cover band? If they decide to do their own version and it doesn't work out, right? But if you're a good cover band and you're just doing the note exactly how it is and the wordage of how it is, and now you're like considered good, but like that's a really good song. So how does that not work out? Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like sometimes I'm like, yeah, everyone loves the song because it's a fucking hit. Like it was like at #1 for weeks. Like, yeah. Austin, what are your thoughts?
You could be bad, like actually a bad musician.
You could be an actually bad musician.
Like they could be unable to play the songs that they chose to cover.
But that's my thing, is that you just memorized everything really well. Right? Like that's the thing. And Austin said, for those who don't understand, he was like, you could just be a mad musician and you were like unable to play it. And I'm like, right, but then you just memorized it really well and now you have it down.
So do you like classical music? Do you think that they're impressive, or is really that's just the same thing but it's taken all the way to the extreme?
Do I like classical music? I don't understand what you're saying, Austin.
Most classical music is just covers.
Okay, I could care less about classical music.
Okay, there you go. So yeah.
So
you don't care about.
So I guess
you don't care about technical playing with it.
I think having technical things is great. Like if you were to have your own band and you're like, look, I need you to play this song and you can pick it up really fast, that's nice. But like if you're never doing riffs of your own or like going off or something, like that doesn't make sense to me. Like if you're only good at copying other people's work. By the way, let's talk about that really quick because we did a cover, so to speak, of what did we do? The first song that we did on Crazy Avey Land was This Is He, and it was off of the song The Greatest Showman. And we did This Is He instead of This Is Me or whatever. And it was like this funny thing, and I like rewrote the words and like whatever. Well, my friend who listened to it thought that I created This Is He, even though it says like in the description, like, you know, Greatest Showman parody, whatever. He thought, I was like, you thought the first song that I've ever covered and like rewrote this music to and like redid things to, you thought like the first song that I ever did was an Oscar nominated song of like, and you thought I just created the first thing I ever did was an Oscar nominated song. That's what you thought? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, it's not. I didn't create that song on my own. I replenished it, put my own spin on it, rewrote it. Austin like redid the music using different, you know, right?
I didn't do the impressive thing. I just followed it note for note.
Right.
That's all.
That's all right. But you did like other instruments.
No, I did the exact same thing.
Oh, well, yeah, we're not creative over here either. It's not impressive. But we like redid it and like stuff like that. And I thought it was really funny that he thought that the first song I ever created for Crazy Avey Day, Aveyland, was like it's just like, it's like a parody. I'm like, we just made it funny. We just turned the song into about Papa. Like, you know what I mean? And he was like, no, yeah, I thought you like created that tune. And I was like, no, I did not create an Oscar award nominated tune. I did not create that. Maybe one day. But maybe that's what they're, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's like so funny. He thought I was like super talented. He was like, I can't believe you came up with that. And I was like, I didn't. Like, that's the thing, is like, I didn't do that. So like when I hear like cover bands, and by the way, super fun and entertaining, but like they didn't come up with it. So how do you know if they're like really good at like music if they never play anything else? Like, are they good? I guess I've never really, that's my point, is like, I don't really know if I've heard like a terrible cover band, because like a good song's a good song, you know? Does that make sense, Austin?
I heard some really shitty cover bands.
Like what?
There's just like
He said he's heard really shitty cover bands.
Dive bar cover bands.
Right.
But honestly, in Seattle and Los Angeles, not really a lot. Most of the music I've heard seems like they're not.
Seattle and Los Angeles, yeah, are super.
But I used to live in Denver and I used to live in Nevada.
Oh, in Denver, and Austin says in Denver and Nevada, it wasn't very good. But in Seattle and LA, they're pretty decent. Maybe I've just been spoiled because I lived in Seattle and LA and New York. That's where I've lived. So maybe it's like I've never heard something terrible, and I've been really spoiled for where I live.
That Buckley's concert, they covered some pop song, and I was like, they're incredible. Like, they're like doing it so well. Like, it's so similar.
Right. What do you mean?
Like, they have the synthesizer. They have
Oh, so you're saying, okay, wait a minute. So are you saying that the closer a cover band gets to like the actual song, the better that they are, because it's harder to recreate
really
with just instruments or something?
Well, because the song is a recording. And they're
Okay. See, okay, so like Austin said that because the song is a recording rather than actually using live instruments, then that makes it good if they do it really well and you can like distinguish it really well. Well, then maybe this cover band was really good.
Cover bands aren't creative for doing that.
Right.
But is a cover band good for being creative? That's not what I expect out of a cover band.
Right.
Yeah. If an artist covers a song, I wouldn't want them to sound like this.
It's just funny because like at the end of that song, like people were like, woo! They like went crazy. Like they got out of their seats. They were like clapping. And I'm like, that was a Snoop Dogg song. Like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, yes, like good job. But it was just really interesting to me that like I didn't understand the hype of a song that was like so big in the 90s and still is fire every time you hear it in the club. By the way, that song is still played in the club. You'll hear a DJ that will like randomly go to a throwback, and that song is like one of the always the songs, and it gets the crowd hyped every time. So that's why it was like really weird that people were like, this band is great. And I'm like, I know the band is like technically doing a really nice job, but let's give it up for the song. Can we give it up for the song? Let's not forget who the fuck Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, like that. Let's give homage to them, please. Give me the microphone, please. Like it was, and the guy like knew all the rap, which was really fun. I mean, that was funny. He's like this white guy and he knows every single rap. And I'm like, you know what though? Like, I know a lot of rap. I know like every song to a Drake. Like maybe I should just start going into covers of Drake and just being like a girl going around like LA and being like, look, I'm really good at covering Drake song. Austin's like on piano. Austin's like doing stuff in the background. And I'm just like, yeah, you can do anything. And I'm just the one singing Drake. And what the fuck, Austin? Why aren't we making money off this? We have a new career and direction to go. This is what's going to be our side project now. A Drake cover band. Drake cult. It's just like, I could do that. Like, I just look at it and I think, yes, it'd be challenging to like really remember the words. And like, I understand that. But once that's down and it's in your body, it's like clockwork. You know? That's with any song. But maybe this is just a little foreshadowing of what we're going to be doing eventually. And maybe I should start appreciating just the cover thing. So I feel like I'm appreciated it too. So I feel like I'm not a piece of shit for just covering. Is it called covering or is it like remixing of the cover? Like you know what I mean? Like what would we call that, Austin?
A remix is you actually take the recording and you sample it.
Right. So what would we say it was like a parody? We do parodies. Hi, Bellies.
But if
oh.
You sing it, then it's a cover.
What?
If you sing it like, if you sing the words of the song, it's a cover. But if you change the words, it's a parody.
Yeah. We do parodies of songs, I guess. Yeah, that's what I do. I'm like, that's what I do. I don't cover shit. Look at Bellies. Yay. We're starting a little bit late today. That's why the lighting's kind of weird. But yeah, maybe that's something that's going to be happening in the future. Is we'll be traveling and doing this, and I need to just appreciate people for the talent that they are, not what they should be.
Should I turn the lights up?
Yeah, maybe do that. Yeah, I guess we should turn the lights on. Let's see what that looks. See if I can get some shadows on there. Oh my God, I forgot. I don't like it. Me no likey. Maybe a little bit down. That's all right. I don't know. Honestly, to be honest.
There's no glare now.
Okay, yeah, that works.
It's like,
Hi, Bellies. You're such a good kitty. Oh, she came up here. Why don't you go sit right here? Why don't you sit right there, Bellies? Yay! Oh my God, I forgot to talk to you guys about this. This is actually really fascinating. Okay, let me see if I can look up the story because I was like freaking out. Okay, so in Russia, there is this town that decided to hire a cat chief to attend to the stray cats in their town. And they're calling it, like, they had like 70 people apply for the position. And they're calling, like, your title is called a cat chief. And it's to watch over the strays. And this is in, well, I can't say that, Zelenogorsk, Russia. I don't know what that is. And there's about 70 stray cats in the town. And they were like, in this town, they have also erected a cat statue. Like, the statue is like huge. It's like 3 times as tall as me. And added a feline to its emblem in a bid to rebrand itself as Russia's foremost cat-loving community. They're looking at their town and being like, we got to rebrand. We got to get people to move here and to like put our growth. We're rebranding as a cat community. First of all, love it. I'd love to go to, what is this? What is this place called? Zelenogradsk, Russia. I'd love to visit now. Actually, it's on my to-do list in my life to one day go to this cat community that's rebranded itself. Russia, if you want me to come, all you got to do is pay for my flight and hotel, and I'll be there in a heartbeat, and we'll film the whole thing for you. We'll go to the cat statue. I'll meet all the cat strays. But I love that it's this cat-loving community. I didn't even know that could be something. I've never even heard of, like, anyone in the U.S. doing that. And then, so who got hired? Svetlana. First of all, I love that she's a cat lady that got hired. I'd be kind of, like, a little peeved if it went to a man. No offense. But I'm like, crazy cat ladies know how to handle, 70 to 80 stray cats, if anything. And was appointed guardian of the town's feline. Okay, so to help her with the task, she was given a bicycle. She was given a bicycle to just bike around and say hi. I don't know. She's given a bicycle and a uniform. Which includes a bright green jacket, a black bow tie, and a hat. Well, now you just kind of look, what is this about? So formal. Like a bright green jacket, or cats attracted to the color green or something? Like, what is that? Why is this bright green jacket? Or maybe it's so you can spot and like, wave to the cat lady as she goes by. But a bow tie, a black bow tie, what kind of event are we? Well, I kind of like that.
The chief.
It's the chief. Right, but see, I think chief, and I thought Native American. I immediately thought, like, wise woman looking after whatever. Not just like, ching, ching, bow tie and a jacket, bicycling around the town. That is hilarious. And she's been given a budget of 5,700 rubles, and that's $85 in American money. A month to ensure all the seaside community's cats. This is it. Okay. All the seaside community cats are happy, dishing out food, strokes, and free rides in the basket on her bike. Okay, strokes. I'm assuming that's petting. Maybe that was like a language barrier on how they could like whatever, but like if we're like stroking some cat weirdness. Free rides in the basket.
We should charge them so that we can get some of this money back.
First of all, are your stray cats like free rides in the basket? That like keeps them entertained? That's hilarious. Well, I don't know. Maybe these are Russian cats. I don't know how they get off in Russia. Some vodka, some milk mixed with a little vodka, and the free rides in the basket. Bicycle basket. I'm so intrigued to visit this place. I just like that they were like, we got to keep these stray cats happy. First of all, she's been given $85 as her budget. Is she getting paid to do this, or do you think this is volunteer work? And then this woman said, I alone cannot care for every single one, and helping hand would go a long way. Okay, lady, you have 70 cats to take care of. You can do it. Like one person every month taking care of 70 cats. I mean, I guess maybe that's every day. If you're like feeding them every day. Yeah, that is kind of hard. I thought like a couple times a week you go around to different areas of the cats, make sure they've got some food around so they don't starve. Give them some pets, pop them on your bike so they're emotionally stimulated on some level. Intellectually have the wind in their face to remind them of a life when they were a lion and they've come back as this poorly low house cat that doesn't have a house. Like, too bad. That's unfortunate. Russia, man. I look at that and I immediately think like, dude, we got to help the homeless vets here in America. Like, we don't even have time. Like, is Russia's like homeless thing like really down? Like, I don't understand. Like, do they not have very much homeless or something? Austin, like, look that up. Like, Russian, like, they have like no one lives on the street. Like, that's all taken care of. That they're like, now we can focus on the cats. That's interesting to me. Or do they have the problem and they just don't care? What?
3.5% of the population, 5 million people are homeless.
In Russia? And yet we still set aside time.
They didn't hear how many.
5 million people in Russia are homeless. And yet we still set aside time.
What is that town called, though?
Well, I tried saying it, and I don't know how to say it. Okay, let me spell it for you. Ew, bellies. Oh, she just took a shit, and it's like right there. It's just right there. Bellies. Oh, she's coming over here.
Zelenograd.
Bellies, if you have any shit in your fur, say it now. Bellies, don't sit down on the. Let me kind of feel your butt. I'm just gonna do it because I gotta do it. Nope, I don't feel anything wet. Okay, we're good. Sometimes you gotta be a parent and just put your hand on your cat's butt to feel for poop. That's what you have to do sometimes. It's called being a cat parent. Yep. Nothing. Good job, Bellies. You cleaned yourself well. Sometimes we don't make it. Sometimes a lot of stragglers come around. It's just part of being a cat parent. You just got to let that happen, unfortunately. All right. Us. Oh, God.
It looks like it's a fairly, like, well-populated area.
Well, this says it's it's Zelenogradsk. Zelenogradsk.
Zelenogradsk.
But that's the town.
Yeah.
Moving. I just moved to Russia.
Don't know the language, don't know people.
I don't care. Cats have a universal language. Cats don't speak Russian. They speak energy. They can just tell. Oh my God. I want to visit though. Honestly, there's like a huge ass cat statue. You have to look it up. It looks really cool. I'm like, I want to go to a huge ass cat statue in Russia and like hang out and just shadow her job for the day would be a dream. That would be so much fun to like go to Russia, shadow her job. Cat chief for the day. I'd get my own little uniform. I'd get my own little bike. But like also, you're in Russia. So what do you do in the winter months? And you're on a bike. Like, God. Still got to go to work. Those cats still need those bicycle rides. You're just struggling. She just goes home and bitches about her job. Fucking hate my job. These goddamn cats and their neediness. Maybe they'll be on a snowmobile. Maybe she'll be like given a snowmobile bike or something. That'd be kind of fun. Oh my God. Oh my God. Someone send me to Russia. You guys, seriously. whoever's out there that has connections to Russia, Trump. No, I'm just kidding. He probably is listening to the podcast. Well, we all know America listens to everything. So someone is probably like, oh my God, she's talking about Russia. Who? What? We have a place in Venice, California, speaking highly on Russian topics. Let's engage. Also, we need to like put this up. The lights change so much even now that we'll just have to turn it up. It'll just have to be it is. We'll just have to do that. Hi, welcome. We're starting late today. That's how it is sometimes. Sometimes you just have other shit to do. But that would be so much fun. That'd be such a dream. And I could do a podcast with her. Can you imagine the 9 Lives podcast going to Russia and then interviewing the cat chief of Russia? I can. That's the kind of vision I have. You understand? That's the kind of vision I see going forward with this cat cult, is that it has no boundaries of where you live or anywhere in the world, that it would even reach Russia. And here we are. This is how we heal America, is through cats. I go to the cat chief in Russia and suddenly all bonds are healed and we move forward for a better tomorrow. Never knew that was going to happen. I believe, God works in mysterious ways. And I think we need to understand that. Oh my God, that smell. It still smells like shit. But I don't think you covered very well. Oh, sometimes she does not cover it very well. I've been changing litters to figure it out, but it's not. I think we're at a point where she's just a little older and she just doesn't give a fuck anymore. She's like, I don't want to do this work. I don't want to just shovel this cat litter around. I'm just going to shit and go. And you're just going to have to clean it up yourself. All right, Bellies, you're 17. You can do whatever you want. I understand. Oh, man. Well, that has been the 9 Lives podcast. We went down a journey here today. I'm looking forward to every week sitting here spitting the shit with you about God knows who, what, where, and when, and why we're talking about whatever we talk about on this podcast. It goes all over the place every week, and that's basically my brain every day. So welcome, and thank you for sticking with me. I love you so much. Tell me if you like this podcast or comments that you have, or if you would go to Russia with me. Let's do a Russian meet and greet. We'll all fly to Russia. And not only do you meet me, but we meet the 70 cats that are roaming around. I'd love it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for staying with me. I love you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Pee, pee, pee.